Welcome back to Q&A Anime. You're here with Kadir and Akil, and today we're discussing One Piece Chapter 1047.
You guys already know what to do. Like, subscribe, bell for notifications. Let's start.
Alright, it's finally time for Momonosuke to man up and do what needs to be done in order to save his country. Yamato tells him that he can do it, but he actually needs to work up the courage to act.
Yes, we cut to a flashback where Lady Toki's telling Momonosuke to be sent 20 years into the future. Obviously, if you're familiar with Momonosuke, you know the most annoying part of his character, aside from his pervertedness, is that he refuses to take action.
Yeah, true. My boy needs to man up and become the leader that the people of Wano can look up to, which could be complicated because he's a 10-year-old boy in the body of a fully grown man who resembles Odin, according to Shinobu. But I also think that this could work in his favor since we know that the people of the country do love Odin, and maybe seeing this man who looks so much like him could play to his favor.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I'm glad he worked up the resolve to go, and he said he would never be able to face his mother if he left things like this. And I think that is a very powerful statement because it's true. We're finally getting some solid character development from Momonosuke despite him still being a crybaby. And on the rooftop, we resume the Kaido-Luffy fight, which I think is in its 24th part now.
Well, whether it's part 24 or 42, I lost count a while ago, but we can now see that Luffy is in fact capable of grabbing and throwing lightning, but that does little to phase Kaido, who dodges effortlessly yet again and sends Luffy flying. I think it's definitely worth noting here that we see Kaido is huffing, and that's important because it's showing that Kaido is certainly getting more and more tired as the fight goes on.
Yeah, and then Luffy grabs a lightning bolt, swings around Spider-Man style, flies back towards Kaido, who beats him down again, while taunting that a strong ability isn't enough to conquer the seas.
Yes, and this leads to the big reveal in which Kaido says that Roger didn't have a devil fruit power, yet still managed to bring the world to heel, which is just an idiom meaning to force someone to obey one's wishes or commands, or to make someone act in accordance with one's authority.
Yes, following that, Luffy got hit again into the ground, and then hit again with a Death Destroyer Thunder Bagua, which might be the strongest attack we've seen from Kaido thus far. And amazingly enough, Luffy still retained enough consciousness to grab Kaido after being sent into the sky. And one thing I want to make note of here is that Luffy is an awakened Zoan. Not only that, but the first awakened mythical Zoan that we've seen. And if you remember from Impel Down, the guards from Impel Down were also awakened, and that gave them access to faster recovery, more strength, the whole shebang. So with that being given to Luffy, who is an awakened Zoan user, I think that we're seeing that Luffy is actually kind of recovering as the fight goes on. Although, not at the same rate as maybe the guards from Impel Down were. But he's still able to come back and fight Kaido. And Kaido isn't even an awakened Zoan fruit user. Let's keep that in mind as we go forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I didn't even think about that, the fact that Zone users do get that kind of damage resistance as part of their abilities. So I definitely think that is working to Luffy's favor as they fight. But it was kind of hard to tell what Luffy was planning in this panel because it wouldn't have made sense for him to pull Kaido up towards him. But either way, Kaido's having absolutely none of it because he transforms into his full dragon form and sends a Dragon Twister Demolition Breath flying towards Luffy.
Yes, here we switch to that scene of Wano residents where they're sending their lanterns flying high to the sky, and a lot of them resolve to be slaves once more when the sun rises, hoping they can survive another year. Obviously, they're still blissfully unaware of what's happening on Onigashima, so hopefully their dreams don't come crashing down on them like the island.
Yeah, I definitely hope not. That'd be a rather grim end to the Wano arc. But we even cut to a scene of Toko hoping her wishes reach her father Yasui, while Luffy takes yet another blast breath. And you have to wonder if Luffy is even bothering to try and dodge anymore with all these hits he's been taking since he reached Gear 5th. And it could all be intentional as these big attacks do draw a lot of power out of Kaido, and we can see him getting more and more tired as he fires them off.
And we're not the only ones noticing since we go back to the dome interior, and there's comments from the samurai that the whole island is falling, and Hyogoro says that means Kaido is at the end of his rope, to which Hokuro brings up an interesting choice of outcomes.
Yes, and the samurai agree that the first choice is a no-brainer, totally fine with the idea of them sacrificing themselves yet again and having their family members live on in peace. But have they learned nothing from Usopp?
Speaking of Usopp, the water finally reached him in the basement, which is one of the lowest levels of the temple, meaning that next the water is going to flood into the dome interior and extinguish the fires surrounding the samurai, which is great.
Yeah, but I can't say that luck is on Hiyori's side, as the sea stone nail that was keeping Orochi incapacitated is loose, and he's finally able to transform into his last serpent head, saying that he'll drag Lady Hiyori down to hell with him. And the way the water is flowing throughout the castle, I'm not sure if it'll reach their location, but if it does, it could be a big help, as it would possibly drown Orochi. But I'm not sure if I see Oda ending him in such an unsatisfying way.
One thing that is satisfying to me, though, is how Luffy looks like he's about to smash the hell out of Kaido with his next punch, and Yamato says that the fist is so large he must be preparing to smash through the island. Even Kaido looks uneasy from the size of the fist, and rightfully so, because the punch looks like it's combined with Ryo, which we know is Wano's version of Armament Haki, and Conqueror's Haki, all in one, being the size of Kaido himself in dragon form, if not bigger. And we have to keep in mind that Kaido's Zoan dragon form is the largest Zoan size we have ever seen in One Piece.
Yeah, so Luffy is definitely trying to put it all on this last attack. And now that we've covered all the major plot points from the chapter, it's time to ask the question, what did you think of the chapter overall?
Alright, my overall thoughts are that I was pretty annoyed that Momo's hesitancy to finally be useful, especially with all the sacrifices everyone else has made for him. But I understand that this also gives him the opportunity for some much needed character development, so I'm gonna let him rock. I was also annoyed that Orochi managed to weasel his way out of yet another near-death scenario, and that he's pretty much as hard to kill as a cockroach. The fight between Luffy and Kaido seems to be overwhelmingly in Kaido's favor, since Luffy doesn't seem like he can touch him. And the last thing on my mind just now is how Luffy sending Kaido smashing into the ground through Onigashima itself would follow with Luffy keeping his promise of taking everything away from Kaido that he stole. So I'm looking forward to us seeing the possible conclusion to this fight, but I'm not sure. What about you, Akil?
Honestly, I think with everything pertaining to the fight, we're finally going to get to see the ending that we've anticipated for so long, with Luffy being declared the final winner of their battle. And the scene here honestly closely mimics the one we've seen of Luffy punching Doflamingo into the island on Dressrosa over 200 chapters ago, which is a fitting end for a tyrant like Kaido, and it's a cool parallel. And as far as Orochi getting off the hook yet again, I know I'm with you there, as I'm very annoyed, because even a couple videos ago I talked about how happy I was that he was finally getting what he deserved and karma was coming for him in the form of Hiyori's revenge. And then yet again he manages to weasel out and is gonna try to take more from Odin's family.
Yeah, Oda must have heard us with our predictions and was just like, yeah, no. So I absolutely agree with you. Fighting aside, we get another reveal that Roger conquered the Grand Line without a devil fruit, which might be the most insane reveal to me, because on top of all the monsters that Roger had to conquer to become the Pirate King, which included the Rocks Pirates, Legendary Marines, and Oda only knows what else, Roger did it with his strength alone. Truly a person worthy of the title of Pirate King. You know, I'm thinking, does this take away from Luffy becoming the next Pirate King, since he has a fruit ability to rely on?
Honestly, I don't think so, since Luffy still had to work to awaken the fruit and become strong enough to take on these insane enemies, and it's not like his road to Pirate King has been especially easy either. And it's also worth noting that in the One Piece timeline, Luffy's only been on the sea 3 years at max working to be the Pirate King, and Roger became the Pirate King as an adult, giving him way more time to become the powerhouse of a pirate that we now know.
True, you can't knock the hustle of the future Pirate King. What do you think overall in your closing remarks, Akil?
Overall, I just think it was another amazing chapter by Oda. I'm really hoping to see Momonosuke step up now that it's truly do or die time. And the reveal of Roger only using Haki to get to the top was insane, because I know there was a lot of theories about whether or not he had a fruit. But based on what we've seen from those with true Haki mastery like Rayleigh, I'm not surprised he managed to pull it off.
Right? Wouldn't expect anything less from the Pirate King. And with that said, I think we'll end the video here and see you guys in the next one.
Q&A out.
Q&A out.